Okay, AEW fans, it's me, Marc Maron, and these are the interviews we recorded for my podcast, WTF, at the AEW Dynamite taping in Los Angeles. I was there with my producer, Brendan, and we talked with Colt Cabana, Bryce Remsberg, the AEW World Champion, MJF, and Eddie Kingston.
We good? Check. Cool. You talk.
Hey, man, 1 2 1 2. Colt
Yeah,
Cabana,
good.
backstage.
Hey, Colt Cabana.
Unreal.
I mean, geez, how long has it been since I talked to you?
This is like the update. This is what everybody wanted.
Yeah, I mean, it's been years. When did I talk to Colt, man?
2012, 2013.
If I was to guess, it was 2013.
Yeah.
And we're keeping the streak alive of never being to the garage because it was in like an Evanston hotel. Do you
That's
remember?
right, dude. When I was playing that little theater. What, the main stage?
Main stage, which I don't think is a theater anymore.
And when you did Maron the show, you were in the fake garage, right?
That
Fake
is
garage.
correct.
Well, what are you going to do? But the point is, the last time I talked to you, you were kind of like a little star of this groovy, hip indie wrestling network.
And it's wild that you're here. This is the baby. Like
Now you're it's the baby, but this is the big time.
yeah, but it was from the scene of like my group of guys. Now it
Yeah.
wasn't necessarily me because it was the Young Bucks
Yeah.
and Kenny Omega essentially that kind of got with Tony. But
Yeah.
like the Young Bucks wrote a book, and in their book they said like they took the blueprints of Colt Cabana of like selling T-shirts of one-on-one.
Yeah.
And then they I thought I was doing good.
Yeah.
And then I watched the Young Bucks get so big, and I watched their merch line, literally like 700 people around a building just for merch.
Right.
And so then it became this thing, and now it's this thing, and luckily I'm along for the ride, and it's
Well, yeah,
fun.
I mean, you got in under the wire there, huh?
I really did, especially like at my age, as my body's falling apart. I told you that.
Yeah, but what happened? So how did it happen? How'd you get the gig?
I mean, I'm just part of the community. Like
Yeah.
I'm part of the cult. Like this is like the opposite of what the other wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Like this was the young, hungry guys. That's now it's counterculture of counterculture.
So that's interesting. So this is all the guys that you were wrestling
Yes.
with on the indies.
And in front of 100 people, 200 people, sometimes 10,000 in Japan. They wouldn't let us in America.
Right.
And so for years we were saying like, why won't you look at us and think that we're good?
Yeah.
Anybody.
Right.
And Tony Khan was able to do that.
And now there's another Jew.
Yes. Well, I feel bad. Like Max is such a star now, MJF.
Yeah.
I'm like the sad older Jew now.
Well, I mean, but it's good that we're represented.
There's a new upstart Jew and a sad older Jew. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
It is fun to represent the chosen people.
Sure, man.
Of course.
I'm happy for you.
Well, I'm happy for you. First of all,
what?
I love that you got thrown into wrestling.
I did, dude.
And when I heard you like talking to Kia and to Chavo,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, he gets it now. He's been doing the wrestling show.
But I didn't fully get it until like yesterday, because he sat down with me as a fan, a lifelong fan of pro wrestling, and we sat down and watched some of these matches. I never did that with Glow. It was I never felt the pressure to, because I wasn't really supposed to know about wrestling. But just to sort of see how it all worked in real time. I've never been to one of these, but we watched them, and I was sort of like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
It all locked together. I understand how you can be emotionally attached to wrestling.
Well, and you appreciate the performance.
That's right.
You have to.
It's real show business.
Especially as a performer.
That's right. It's real show business.
Yeah, and so you're going to watch it in person tonight.
Yeah.
Which I think you'll get a whole new. So I can't wait to hear the after part of this, because you'll
Yeah.
get to be up front and really watch the people as they're sweating and watch how they direct the crowd.
Yeah.
In the ring.
Yeah.
You'll get a whole new appreciation. Which makes me happy.
Do we have good seats? We better have good seats.
If you don't, I can.
All right. Thanks.
I know a guy.
Well, we might text you.
Please do.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, congratulations on all your successes.
Thanks, buddy.
It's
You
the
too.
best. It's
Yeah.
the best.
We found out some behind-the-scenes secrets about how AEW operates. For example, sometimes a referee is not just a referee. We met Bryce Remsberg backstage, and on camera he's a ref, but his work doesn't end there.
Bryce is. What would you say your title is while you're here? Are you one of the senior officials?
One of the more senior officials. One of the top 6 we have.
So what you saw Bryce do was he refereed the steel cage match with Jungle Boy.
Oh,
and
that's true.
Luchasaurus.
That's a true fact of that. When he dove off the cage and shattered his hip, and
That's right. And Bryce, I mean, we made note while we were watching it. You're like, wow, this guy's really reacting to everything, even though he's not allowed to do anything. It's a cage match.
I'm the voice of the audience. If someone's jumping off a cage in front of me, I feel compelled to react, I guess.
Right, but I mean, but you don't have to stop anything.
No. They sign up for this. Who would want that, right? Who wants to see me stop this?
Yeah.
Let them go.
Yeah.
I'm also the travel manager for AEW, which is a harder job, which involves higher numbers than 10 or 20.
What
but
does that mean?
making sure everyone gets here on time, booking hotels, booking flights, shuttles, car service, etc. All that.
You got to do all that shit
do all
and
that
get in the ring?
Get in the ring.
Is the payoff to get in the ring?
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. That's what I want to do.
You're a wrestler.
I was a referee
points in
on the
your life?
Independents
Yeah.
for 17 years, and this started. So if I also have to talk to some hotels on the phone and able to get in there and do that scratches the itch.
Wait, so you arrange travel for all 50 of these?
150 is our number, yeah.
150?
It's about 90 wrestlers, 60 staff, a referee, social media, medical, security, all that. That's all.
That's all you?
I have a team, but I'm the manager, yeah.
And you do the
And
reffing.
Tony's car service and Tony's planes and everything, yep.
But are you sad you're not wrestling?
No, I'm fragile emotionally and physically, Mark. I don't want to do any of that.
But you
I
used
am
to?
a proxy. No, I refereed on small stuff.
Oh, you ref.
It's kind of like stand-up, I'd imagine.
Sure.
You work through the smaller stuff, and now you
Yeah.
get to do the big-time stuff.
So
but
you
I don't
were
want to get
always-
hurt.
you were always
ref.
just a ref?
Yes, sir. I'm short. I make guys look tall.
Yeah.
I'm 5'5", so if
That's
I
your
stand
job?
next to Darby or Jungle Boy, they look like giants. That's my job.
So now, these guys don't travel together, though?
No. They all fly from wherever they live at home, and they come to wherever we are.
Yeah.
Sometimes LA easy. Next week Fresno.
Yeah.
Not as easy, but we get there.
Yeah. Now, what are you doing tonight?
I am going to referee Jungle Boy and Hook's tag team match, and the aforementioned Darby Allin is wrestling on Rampage, I believe, later tonight. So I'll be in there.
two matches?
Where are you going to be?
I'll be wrestling. No,
In the main event. You'll be wrestling with your emotions.
Yeah. I don't know where we're sitting, but I'll be here.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. What a time to be alive.
Yes.
Do you find a great crossover from wrestling psyche and self-doubt and stand-up comedians? Not even when you get to the highest point of everything.
I don't know. Just from talking to these guys, I don't know that many wrestlers, but it seems like some of the dues-paying process is similar.
Sure.
In terms of venue size and sort of getting your act together.
You feel like you earned it.
You feel like you earned it, but also you learn how to do it, in smaller rooms and in smaller crowds. And after talking to Chris Jericho, just learning how to work off the crowd and how that sort of feeds what you're doing. So I think more of a similarity in, that knowing that this is all show business and the dues process is very similar.
Yep.
It's a lot less physical to be a comic.
Sure. But
Unless you piss somebody off.
the sleep, crummy hotels and flight delays, and that's part of the gig.
All that's part of it, yeah. But we are these guys are kind of solo operators as well. But ultimately the show is with other people.
Sure.
Whereas that's not the case.
I'm so jealous of you. You just need a mic stand and a
That's
stool
it.
and a bottle of water, and we
That's
have this
it.
whole production with the ring. Did you get
but
in the
no,
ring?
that-
Did you get in the ring?
I didn't get in the ring, but some guys these days are doing pretty big productions.
Yeah.
Stand up. So yeah, sure. Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah, Kevin Hart. Yeah, that's a big operation.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Another short guy.
Yeah. Good talking to you.
Good talk to you. Thank you, sir.
So the day after the show, Brendan came over to the garage and we got on the mics to talk about the whole experience. You'll hear that now, along with our talks with wrestlers MJF and Eddie Kingston. To be honest with you, the whole experience, backstage, watching the stuff first, and then being there at the show, I totally get it. And I totally was invested in it. Even when we watched the stuff in the living room, like just you telling me the background of the people, and something clicked for me. And I think, did we talk about it on the mics? Something clicked for me in that I can understand, not unlike a musical, like with my weird thing about musicals, is that when you see a lot of people executing something that they're doing properly, it's moving
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So even when we were watching it in the living room, I sort of got the beats. And when you explain the structure of a match, I got that. But just the fact that, like, oh, he made it, he landed on the thing, there's something exciting about that. But watching it live, I felt the same kind of emotions I feel that are not really explained when an arc sort of worked. Like they have a build to it, right? So when they're doing the finale of moves, I could feel like, almost tear up.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and I also noticed when we were backstage that the thing that struck me, even talking to the wrestlers, is that they're, like, I'm intimidated by, athleticism, by that competitive nature of sports. I wouldn't
like
really know how to be in a locker room.
Right. It's like your old joke about how if you see a teenager walking with a varsity jacket on one side of the street, you're like,
cool.
Yeah.
But there's that, but also just it's so not my world.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even understand, why it's important in the sense that, like, I get they're going to go win, and there's, the goal is the sport, and these guys are in top shape to do a sport. But these guys, they're big guys, and I'm sure they have sports in their past, some of them, but they're very aware that they're part of show business.
Yes.
You're not going to have that vibe in a football locker room, like, we're just putting on a show.
Right.
Like these guys are very much for putting on a show. They're not backstage psyching each other out.
Right.
It's just like it's like a fucking circus back there.
Well, we should tell people how we saw all of this, how it kind of developed for us as witnesses to it. When we were, showed up to the arena, the first thing we got to see, we were in the bowl of the arena, the forum.
Yeah.
And it was, pre-show. It was about 3 hours before they opened the doors or before the show started.
Yeah.
And the wrestlers, a lot of them, were in the ring talking through
That's right.
what their match was going to be that night.
Specifically that closer. It
The
looked like
ladder
that was
match.
what we were going. That was what was happening when we were.
That's right.
Got there. Is they had the ladder in there.
That's right.
And there was a lot of discussion.
And so we watched that for a while. We watched, just kind of what they were setting up. Then we went backstage to the Forum Club to have where there was a kind of sitting area so that we could sit and do some of the interviews. And that was with Max MJF, who is the champion. And we knew he was going to come in and do basically a gimmick interview, in character interview.
It's funny though. He's talking normal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so this is going to stop right when we go on. He's like, oh yeah, I'm going to be the biggest douchebag Jew from Long Island that you ever met.
Yeah, right.
The worst Jewish person from Long Island.
Well, now hold on a second. I'm
What?
salt of the earth. You don't get to say that about me.
Well, I mean, I
the
just
fans can say that. You don't get to say that.
Yeah, but I
Mark.
mean, aren't you helping Jews?
I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
When you think about Jewish people, normally they're very schleppy, dirty looking, kind of like you.
Yeah.
But, I'm trying to break
Now,
the mold.
Wait.
No,
Back
what's
up.
going
Back
on?
up.
What's going
Back
on?
up. I think that I'm half nerdy, half stocky.
I'm like a hybrid Jew.
That's right. Hybrid
Yeah.
Jew, not full nebbish, not full nebbish.
You're not like all the way to the right athletic like
That's right.
Goldberg.
That's right.
But you're not all the way to the left Don Rickles.
That's right. Well, I'm not a math Jew. I'm I'm in the middle.
Lord, let me tell you something. I'm definitely not a math Jew. I can tell you that much.
So,
Besides counting my money.
But of course. Now, do you find how Jews respond to you?
Jews love me.
Yeah, they
Kidding
do?
me? I'm the mensch of the cinch.
Yeah.
You kidding me? I'm over as fuck with the trash.
How about Israelis? Do Israelis like you?
Israelis, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
If you're a Jew, you love MJF because if you think about it, I'm really the first prolific world champion that just so happens to be Jewish.
Yeah.
In the history of the business, that is good at talking and wrestling.
Yeah.
Love Bill Goldberg to death, but you put a mic in front of his mouth, he kind of has a a bit of a panic attack.
Does now how many Jews is there a history of Jews in wrestling?
Not really. There's not a lot of us, as you would imagine. Most of us are known for being dentists, doctors, lawyers.
There's been some
or
sports,
stand-up comedians.
That's right, but there's been a few sports Jews, no?
For sure.
Yeah.
Actually, my great-great-uncle,
Yeah.
Benny Friedman,
Yeah.
is in the NFL Hall of Fame. He was a quarterback.
Was he? I know there were Jew boxers.
Chewbacca's?
Jew boxers.
I'm just fucking with you.
Yes.
Yes, there were definitely Jewish boxers, for sure.
Was this the dream?
Pro wrestling?
Yes.
From the jump. My two biggest things I wanted to do since I was a child was professional wrestling and then parlay that into acting.
But when did you start watching wrestling?
I started watching wrestling probably when I was 6.
Yeah.
And I remember what had happened was my father took me to my uncle's house, and there was just a party going on a Friday.
Yeah.
And SmackDown was playing at the time, WWE SmackDown.
And I remember just seeing these gigantic men, and I was just so enamored by it. These dudes just beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
And I remember I just grabbed my dad. I was like, take me to Hollywood Video. So now if anyone's listening and you don't know what Hollywood Video is.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm shocked somebody's listening that's younger than me. I was born in 96. But yes, now Hollywood Videos don't really exist anymore. But so he took me to Hollywood Video. I grabbed one of the DVD box sets, and there was a guy on the cover that looked like a zombie.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and that guy turned out to be The Undertaker.
Right.
And my first match I ever watched in full was a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you ever seen this match,
Yeah.
but it was intense. Mick Foley got thrown from the top of the cell to the floor.
Is that what did him in?
I mean, I think a lot of things did that guy in.
Yeah.
He's wrote some great stuff. He's a great author.
Yeah.
But his brain
We talked
is
to him
mush.
a couple times. We like the guy.
Yeah.
He's just beat up physically.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Beat up physically,
Yeah.
mentally, emotionally. Hot daughter, though. I'll give him that.
Does he?
Noel's hot.
But aren't you concerned that you're going to get beat up physically, mentally, emotionally?
Mark,
what?
Please,
Yeah.
listen to me. Let me explain something to you.
Yeah, right.
I don't wrestle often.
Yeah.
I'm what they call a special attraction. Kind of like Andre the Giant.
Okay.
Just not necessarily as tall.
Yeah, just I think he was a Jew, wasn't he?
Andre,
No?
definitely
Okay.
not.
Okay.
Definitely French.
Okay.
Not Jewish.
All right.
But we can forget about that.
But so you're not concerned about your well-being?
I'm really not. I wrestle very rarely. I get paid very well.
Yeah.
Because when I do wrestle, people really tune in because I'm such a hot commodity and I rarely wrestle. I mainly, if I'm being honest with myself, I run my mouth a little bit.
Right.
That's what I'm known for.
But not wrestling? I mean, you wrestle,
I'm very good. I'm the world champion. Of course I'm good at professional
how
wrestling.
do you do that by not wrestling often?
Well, now I have the title, so I don't have to defend the belt unless somebody becomes number one contender.
Isn't it my understanding that the guys like you eventually get schooled?
What are you talking about? Me?
I mean,
how could I possibly be schooled? I'm the smartest man in professional wrestling.
But someone's going to beat you, right?
Mark, that's impossible.
All right.
You sound very foolish right
No,
now.
I apologize. Maybe I'm just I don't know enough.
You're a little green around the ears when it comes to professional wrestling. That's fine.
All right.
But what guys like me are known for is we win the world title and people chase us forever and a day, and then we retire and we retire undefeated.
Yeah, that's it.
That's pretty much tale as old as time.
Now, what
bad
about-
guy not getting his comeuppance.
What about the acting future? Is that going to happen?
So actually, I had just booked a role and just finished rapping with a movie called Iron Claw.
Is it a wrestling movie?
It is. It's about the Von Erichs.
Yeah.
It was me and Zac Efron and Colt McAllister and Jeremy Allen White.
Did you play a wrestler?
I did. Shockingly.
Did you play a douchebag or?
So you would call the guy that I played a douchebag. His name was Lance Von Erich.
Yeah.
And he may or may not have held up the promoter for money. Who's to say?
Oh, this is like old timey wrestling. It's a true story.
This is back in the day. This is retro wrestling in Texas. It's based on a true story.
Did you do a Texan accent?
No, absolutely not.
all right.
No, I don't mess around with. I don't want to sound dumb personally. I don't know if you're from the South. I apologize that you're dumb, but I don't like sounding Southern.
You grew up on Long Island?
Of course I did.
What
It's
town?
the most magical place in the world. I grew up in Plainview.
Yeah.
And now I own an apartment in the Golden Coast over at Glen Cove.
Is that nice?
Oh, are you kidding me? Beaches
I
galore.
had cousins in Hewlett.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't come from horrible stock.
No, I come from Jew stock.
Good.
Jersey City Jews. A little.
It's,
a little tougher,
maybe
a
we
little
don't talk
tougher.
about that.
No, a
Maybe
little
we don't
tougher
talk
than
about that.
where you
Yeah,
come
yeah,
from.
yeah.
They moved to where you came from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. What they want their lives to get better.
What was your dad a doctor? Did you grow up with a Porsche?
My first car was a Camaro, not a Porsche. I'm actually about to get a Porsche in February.
Yeah.
It's a GTS Taycan.
Oh, really?
It's neon green.
Well, you ordered it?
Of course I did.
You ordered the neon green one?
Neon green.
Yeah?
Taycan. Yeah.
I
Green
don't-
like
I don't
money,
know what
baby.
that means. Yeah.
So a Taycan, it's their only electric vehicle.
Oh, you got an electric Porsche?
Yes, I did.
Well, good luck with
I
that.
like-
I mean, I did.
What? What?
It'll be fine.
I think it'll be fine.
I mean, you just seem like a gas guy.
That's the thing, is a lot of
Yeah.
people would think that.
Yeah.
But I'm very smart with my money.
Yeah.
And gas prices these days,
Oh,
as
is
you
that
would
it?
know as an LA boy,
Sure.
through the roof.
Terrible.
Mark.
Terrible.
Horrible.
First car was a Camaro, though, huh?
First car was a Camaro.
So what kind of business was your old man in?
So my father
Yeah.
made paleo bagels.
Really?
He works for me now. Yeah.
He works for you making bagels?
Now he's done with the bagels. He's sold the business.
Yeah.
God bless him.
What do you mean paleo bagels?
They're
Like,
called pagels.
That was his big idea?
That was his big thing, and
How
he
did it
made a decent chunk of change off
Yeah?
of that. Oh yeah, Jewish people love their bagels, and Long Island Jews love their diets. So
Right.
you mix those two things together, we're
So how do
talking
you
a lot
make
of money.
paleo bagel?
So we found out about this stuff called cassava flour.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And he would use that. He would utilize that to make the bagels.
And now, is it a kind of bagel where you bit into it and you're like, not great, but
Let me
it's
tell
paleo?
you, I'm about to shock you.
All right.
just as good as a regular bagel, and that's coming from a Long Island Jew.
Really? He boil it in the water and bake it?
He figured it out. I don't know how he did it. Guy's a mad scientist when it comes to bagels.
So what's he do for you?
So now he's just managing my money.
Oh, really?
100%.
You trust him?
Not really, but somebody's got to give that schmuck a job, you know? And then my mom, she's in the steel industry.
Yeah?
Yeah, she works for a company called B&S Aircraft. She co-owns the company with my uncle, Alan Weissman.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you ever need steel
Alan
or
Weissman?
metal.
Wasn't that Trump's guy who just got put in jail?
I doubt it.
Oh, Weisselberg. What do I know?
Another long-nosed Jewish guy.
So now, do you find any actual anti-Semitism coming at you?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've had death threats. I've had Nazi emblems keyed into my car.
Really?
When I was on the Indies, you would hear kike a lot more often than I've heard it here. But I think that's only because the arenas are so loud. If there is someone screaming kike, I just can't hear it.
Right.
There's so many people booing me because they have bad taste, Mark.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of interesting, right? Did you ever find it menacing, or you still thought it was all part of the gimmick?
Quite frankly, so I think in the underbelly of society, and I think you would agree with this, anti-Semitism has always been rampant.
Of course.
That's why we're kind of always like, oh shit, you got the cough, gotta be the Jews. You know what I mean? Jewish people is always the scapegoat.
Yeah.
So I think this Kanye thing kind of unearthed it all over again.
Yeah.
And I found that really interesting to see how many people were in the replies like, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
And you're just reading it. And at first, you're just baffled by the stupidity.
Right.
But then you have to remind yourself, no, anti-Semitism is rampant, but it's not as fun to talk about as, say, other ethnicities going through it for whatever reason.
Well, that's because most people don't know Jews.
Yeah.
I mean, other ethnicities are more represented in culture.
I'd say
you got to go find a Jew.
Yeah. We're hiding.
Yeah.
We're hiding, writing.
Always.
We're writing
Hiding.
for the anti-Semites is what we're doing.
But I like in comedy though, I go out of my way now to really kind of make a big deal out of the Jew thing.
I love it.
Annoy whatever people might be anti-Semitic. Yeah. I like to get people to just get to a point where they're like, we get it, Jew.
Yeah. You know what? I think we're going to get along great.
Sure.
Because that's what I love to do. That's actually exactly what I love to do.
But what are you going to do tonight? This is my first live wrestling show.
Oh my God.
Are you going to?
I'm so sorry. You're going to have to deal with everybody else except me.
Yeah.
No, I'm just going to go out there and talk and be the biggest star in the entire show like I am every week.
Sure.
That's why I get paid high seven figures.
You're the guy?
You fucking kidding me, Mark? Don't be stupid. So I'm going to go out there, entertain the crowd like nobody else's business.
Yeah.
I know that there are a bunch of, highfalutin people here in LA.
Are there? Who's coming?
And they got a lot of interesting people around here, apparently. People like you, Ken Jeong, Freddie Prinze Jr., Macaulay Culkin, Paul Walter Hauser. Those are a couple of people that I know that are here.
Paul's going to be here?
Paul's a great guy.
He's a good guy.
Paul's a great guy.
He really text him.
Yeah.
He just texted me the other day.
Paul's a huge MJF fan.
Yeah,
I mean, who the fuck is it, Mark?
But me. I'm just learning. I'm trying to get in.
You are.
Trying to get in.
Yeah.
Trying to get into it. I'm not too late, am I?
Confirm.
Do I have to be 7?
You're never too late.
Okay.
And if anybody tells you that you have to be young to enjoy this, I think it's silly. And I'm going to get real serious with you on this.
All right.
I think now more than ever, professional wrestling is this incredible thing because it's not only is it this crazy form of athleticism, but it's also in a sense is you're seeing us where we are performing this sport with no net.
Yeah.
And there's no backup plan and there's no way to mess up. Whereas if I sit down and I go to see a stand-up comic and they're shit in the bed, they can maybe figure out a way to get around it, and it's probably not being recorded live for the world to see while it's happening.
Right.
But we're alive every single week.
We go without a net sometimes, and but I guess when we fuck up,
not the whole world doesn't see it.
Right. And also the risk is not you're going to drop a guy.
Oh yeah, the risk isn't that you're going to be a paraplegic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you do this, when you do the matches, I mean, you got bits you do. Right.
Bits.
Well, I mean, what do you call them?
I'll bite people from now and then, but if only
I mean,
it's
when
necessary.
you chart it out, you know what you're going to open with mostly. Like, as a comic,
Personally,
yeah,
I'm a shoot from the hip type of guy.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I say what I'm feeling. I feel what I'm saying.
But I mean, like with moves, like with actual wrestling.
With the moves, when I'm in there, I have to study my opponent, study their movement, figure out what openings I have.
Yeah.
Is their arm hurt? Is their fucking finger hurt? Is their knee hurt?
Yeah, and that's where you.
Then you got to go for it.
Do you ever use weaponry?
So you're not going to tell anybody this,
no,
right?
I'm not.
All right, thank God. So sometimes, if I'm a little worried,
I
have a ring that I put in my trunks.
Yeah.
and I put it on my pinky.
Yeah.
And I punch the guy out with it when the ref's not looking.
All right.
And it works every time. Mark.
Yeah.
Every time.
So you cheat.
What?
I mean, that's
What are you
part of
talking
it.
about? I think I slightly bend the rules.
All right.
To my advantage.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We have to.
You have to.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get hurt.
How was your bar mitzvah? Was it good?
Oh, Maximania? Are you kidding me? It was fantastic.
Yeah.
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 We had dancing luchador females. Their tatas were out. It was all kosher, though.
That was your bar mitzvah party?
Oh,
Wrestling theme?
Wrestling theme. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Now, did you do the full thing Friday and Saturday? Or
No.
Friday
One
night?
day gimmick.
Oh, one
Red
day.
in the morning,
Yeah.
party in the evening.
That was it?
Yeah.
Did the Haftorah and
Yeah,
route.
get in, get out. Let's
How'd
get
you
to the
do?
party.
Make some money?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
You know how Jewish grandparents and cousins are. They were great. They treated me well that night, for
That's
sure.
good. Brothers and sisters?
I have 2 older siblings, yes.
And are they, how do they judge you? Are they proud of you?
They're definitely, I think they're definitely proud of the fact. I think they knew I was going to make something of myself to this degree. I don't think any of them could have guessed it.
Sure. Are they doctors or lawyers or
No.
anything?
So Carly, the middle sister, she's in like business and finance.
Yeah.
And then Alex is actually in fashion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like as a designer or just...
She's a designer, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Has she done any trunks for you or anything?
No, I won't let her anywhere near my shit. She's horrible at her job, but she's trying. She's trying her best. God bless her.
How are you going to get the Nazis not to key your green Porsche?
So the good news is now I get flown out.
Okay.
And I have a driver. So
Okay.
I never drive my own car when we're doing these we're going to different arenas in different states every week.
But back on the island, you'll drive it.
Back on the island,
garage.
yeah. I'll drive my car in the
Yeah,
garage. But
yeah,
everybody
yeah.
loves me in Long Island. I'm
Sure.
a welcomed hero.
Are you a hero?
1,000%. I get booed everywhere else because everybody else has bad taste.
Yeah.
We come to Long Island, everybody in Long Island knows the deal. They know I'm the best thing since sliced bread. So they're just eating
you're
it
like
up.
Billy Joel.
I guess so, yeah. I'd say much more attractive than Bill, but
I would hope so at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah, right?
Give it time.
yeah, well, shit. It's a good
So,
point. Time gets us all.
All right, so tonight you're just going to get up there and start some shit?
Maybe. We'll see
right.
how I'm feeling.
It was good talking to you.
I know it was, Mark.
All right. And we talked to Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, Eddie, we talked to him specifically because I had read a piece that he had put together for the website, The Players Tribune, a piece largely about his mental health issues.
Right.
But in the piece, he kind of outlined his trajectory as a wrestler. And I remember reading it months ago when it came out and thinking like, wow, there's so many parallels here to people we've had on this show talking about struggling with comedy, specifically Mark, you talking about those hell gigs where there's nobody in the crowd.
And we've discussed that with wrestlers before.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, we knew that was a similarity. But I think what I had to put together, that not unlike the experience of as a fan like you or somebody watching, is that this gives these guys, who, are probably not emotionally that healthy, a very specific context to have extreme emotions.
Yes.
Of all kinds.
Right.
In character and also physicality.
Right.
They make these decisions. So not unlike a fan who's experiencing a wave of emotions and, personality, identification, transference, hero worship, all that stuff, or having the arc of an emotional experience to any match, these guys, have this controlled performative way to sort of really get the shit out.
Yes.
You know how to handle a mic.
I try.
Yeah, hold it up.
Sometimes they trust us, sometimes they don't.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Especially when I want to curse on live TV, which is not a good thing.
Yeah, sometimes.
I use curses as
Yeah.
adjectives or whatever.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in New York.
You
I know
already
what it's
know
like.
how it is,
You
yeah.
speak the language.
You already know.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to say, when they came to us about doing this with AEW and, working with our show, they give us the whole list of people to do stuff with. And I said, no, actually, I want Eddie Kingston. Like that's the guy who matches up the closest with what we do on this show. And
No, not MJF, our world champion.
he just came in, so I mean, he was going to Bigfoot it no matter what, I guess.
Yeah, he's a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put that out there. I don't know why he's the champ, but he'll hear this anyway, and he'll cry about it to Tony. Then I'll get an email from Mega HR.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, Ed, you can't be calling our world champion a piece of shit. And I'm like, well, if he doesn't act like a piece of shit, I wouldn't call him that. But,
But
neither here nor there.
Isn't that his job to act like a piece of shit?
Not backstage to the boys.
Oh,
You know what I
really?
mean? Yeah, he's a low life, man. He's a young kid who just thinks he knows it all and he doesn't. Fuck them. I don't give a shit. What are you gonna do? Fire me? Okay. I'll work somewhere and make money. It doesn't bother me.
But your journey to where you are was it was fucking hard.
Yeah, it was. It was. That's a nice way of putting it. Yeah.
I mean, you grew up. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Yonkers, New York. I was born in the Bronx, University Avenue, but then grew up in Yonkers.
Yeah, and I mean, because I read a piece on you, and it was like, I kind of related to it because I did stand up for a long time before anything happened. And you get to that point where you're like, "Fuck,
when is this gonna pop off?" Yeah.
And then you hit the wall.
Yeah, and then you're just tired and you're done and you don't know what to do. And then you're like, for me, it was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
I was selling my clothes, my wrestling gear,
on
eBay or wherever.
But did you have you had fans at that point?
Yeah, so I had independent fans.
Yeah.
So I was getting money, but it was still like I'm trying to pay for the mortgage in Florida. You know what I mean? And
oh, you were in Florida.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. And
what part of Florida?
Orlando.
Yeah, that's not a happy place.
I like it because no one knows me, and I'm just in my backyard and smoking a little bit of weed, and no one knows me.
So you live down there now?
Yeah, I live down there now.
They're gonna get mad at me. I'm the biggest heel to Orlando because I talk shit about it, and they just always yell at me.
Well, I don't blame you because during the pandemic, I went to the 7-Eleven. The pandemic just started.
Yeah,
just started. I go to the 7-Eleven. I'm wearing my mask and everything.
Yeah.
No one in there is.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Well, there's that, but I kind of get stuck in the theme park thing. If you just go to Orlando and all you experience is the theme park, then they hate you because they're like, you didn't go out and get a hamburger, you didn't go out and do this or that. Yeah,
I don't go out. Thank God for Uber Eats. When I get home from the road, it's Five Guys and Ben and Jerry's from 7-Eleven. That's it.
But what were you doing? When did you leave New York?
Oh man, I was 33, 34. Met a girl.
Yeah, but you started wrestling when you were in New York?
Yeah, I was 20 years old when I started wrestling, yeah.
Wait, how did that happen? Is this something you always wanted to do?
Always wanted to do it, and then I was ironworking in the city for Local 580. What's up, boys?
Yeah.
And
so you were a union guy.
Yeah, I was. My whole family's union, all elevated. Local
workers?
one. No, Local one.
Yeah.
My uncle Kevin Moore, rest in peace, he was an iron worker.
Now, were you up on
Yeah.
You were sitting on the girders?
Yeah, that and the hoist and all that stuff. Yeah, hanging off the side of the building, welding, putting windows in, all that stuff.
Holy shit.
So I just turned around and I saw a 70, 80-year-old guy.
Yeah.
Who's been on the job God knows how long.
Right.
And he's just coughing up a lung and drinking on the job site. And I'm smoking my cigarette going, there got to be something more than this. And I just got AOL. Yes, I'm older.
Yeah.
And I just looked up wrestling schools near me. And
which
one.
Did you go to?
I went to one in Jersey. They kicked me out. I'm a New York kid. So I'm not going to hold my tongue. I didn't know I had to be whatever professional, I guess they call it.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like if I saw someone who was being an asshole, I was like, oh, you're an asshole. But they're like, no, he's been in the business this amount of years. You can't be mean like that. I'm like, what are you talking about? Anyway, got kicked out of there. Went to a place in Pennsylvania called Chikara. Yeah. Where a lot of us are from. Yeah. A lot of the AEW people.
They trained there?
Yeah.
They learned?
Yeah, they all learned from there and then just took off.
And what do you learn? Mostly, do you learn how to put together a persona or just moves?
For me, it wasn't the persona.
You already had
I was just me, yeah. This is me.
Yeah.
They teach you how to tell a story.
Okay.
Not just what moves to do, but how to tell it.
You know what I mean? How do you put that together in your head? You're going on tonight.
Tonight. I don't talk about it.
Oh,
because after 21 years in, not that I know it, it's just after 21 years in, I don't remember a lot of things. So you can't tell me what you're gonna do because I'll forget.
Oh, really? So they just got to react.
I go, listen, we just got to react to each other and do what we would do in real life if we're in a real fight. So I try to keep it in,
fresh.
Yeah, character, I guess you can say, or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? I don't want to talk to you out there, so I'm not going to talk to you back here. We may go over little things here and there, but other than that, let's just...
So it's just the assumption that everybody can respond to the move you're going to put on them.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just going to see what happens. And if they react, they react. If they don't, then we'll go a different way.
Right. Now, when he started, though, what was the, what was the independent scene like at that time?
Oh, it was shitty. Yeah. It was horrible. I was getting like $5 a show, $10 a show.
And promoters, though, did they take advantage?
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, of course, yeah. The indie scene didn't pop off on the East Coast until about, I say, 05, 06.
Oh, really?
And that's when I was like a couple of years in. And then there were guys like me, Samoa Joe, Homicide, Bryan Danielson, all those guys made the independents really hot.
Right. But
they
before,
still screwed you.
Yeah, but before, did you see like dudes that like, you know, who'd been at it too long and that were like sad and
Oh yeah. That's how I feel like I look like now in the locker room to the guys. I'm just sitting in the corner going, when are we done with this?
But it didn't scare you? It didn't make you think like,
no,
holy
because
shit.
I didn't want to do anything for my life. This was it.
Yeah.
You know, if I wasn't going to do this, then I was just going to do iron working or whatever.
So when shit went bad, what happened? You just dried up? The work dried up? Or you?
COVID hit.
And that was it.
That was it. Everything dried up.
Yeah.
You know, unless you were with the two big companies.
Yeah.
AEW and the other place.
Yeah.
And if you didn't have it, you were just home.
Yeah.
Waiting.
And how did you get this gig? I mean, how did you?
I talked a lot of shit. I had an independent show finally.
Yeah. After COVID.
Out in New York. Out after COVID. And I just grabbed the microphone one day and I said, hey, Cody Rhodes had a thing going here.
Yeah.
Open challenge.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, Cody, all these guys that you're fighting are kids. I'm a grown man.
Yeah.
All this stuff. And then it caught wind on Twitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was like, okay. And then they called me in and they were like, oh, we want to bring you in to wrestle Cody. And the first question I asked was, how much? How much are we getting?
Yeah.
Because the way I didn't look at it like I was getting a contract.
Right.
I didn't look at it as a tryout.
You just saw it like a one-nighter?
Yeah. I looked at it like, okay, man, I can pay my mortgage next month, so I'm good to go.
But they signed you.
Yeah. I got lucky. I had a good dance partner with Cody, and we beat each other up. And 2 weeks later, they were like, hey, you want a contract? I go, yeah, how much?
And how many matches you do in a week?
Oh, for AEW? It's once a week on a Wednesday.
You don't go out at...
Oh, no, I do. I like doing the independents still.
Yeah.
Because without the independents, I would have went nuts years ago.
So you just like it to do the shows?
Yeah. And a lot of times... well, they already announced it a couple times. I hate it when they do this. I usually will go there and do a show, but I'll tell them take half my money and give it to a charity that's local.
Right.
And like I tell them not to announce it, just do it.
Yeah.
And they announced it anyway. So yeah, that's what I like to do.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, really? I'm like, look, you guys kept me fed for years.
Right.
And I had nothing, so let me help you back out.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
I don't like being nice, but it happens once in a while.
Well, I mean, you don't have to tell people.
Yeah.
But like when you go to England, have you been there a lot?
Yeah, a couple times, about eight or nine times.
And what's the scene like there?
I don't know how it is now after COVID, but before COVID, I lived out there for 3 months.
Yeah.
And it was every day was a show. Yeah, except for like a Monday we had off.
And the fans?
We're insane. I love the fans over there.
Now, so this international, right? So they all know you from this.
Yeah,
right?
Hopefully they do. Hopefully they know me from this.
Yeah.
But no, they knew me before that, but not a lot. You know what I mean? Like I had a little niche, like punk rock.
Right.
I had that little group, not a whole worldwide mass audience.
Where else do you go internationally?
I'm trying to go back to Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that...
I hear that's crazy.
Yeah, I love... The Japanese style is what I'm really into.
What makes it different?
It's treated more like a sport.
Oh, yeah?
And it's harder hitting, but it's in there.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I'll hit you. You'll know I'm here. I'm not going to hurt you. You'll go home with your, see your wife and kids, but I'm going to let the person in the front row go, God damn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was there at the Newark show, Full Gear, where you fought Jun Akiyama.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like you talk about it, you have a reverence for that style and, want to go back there. But it did feel like that was a very emotional moment for you to fight that guy.
Yeah, it was because, like, I saw that guy wrestle when I was 14, 15. And now I'm wrestling him in a ring in Newark, near home.
Yeah.
With a big company.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, of course this is emotional. I didn't think this.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be done with wrestling after, COVID hit. I thought other things too as a kid. I thought I'd be dead by 26 because the way I was acting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was just being a punk kid, nothing crazy, So just to have that moment and I'm facing right across the ring from a guy who I idolized, I'm like, this is fucking trippy. We just kept calling each other out. Well, I did on Twitter. Yeah. And I said, this is my dream match. This is my dream match. And it caught wind again on Twitter.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I'll do it. And I was like, that's it? They were like, yeah, he wants to come in. I was like, it was crazy, man. It was nuts.
Yeah.
Like, at one point, I wanted to take off my boots and go, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, nothing's going to beat that. You know what I mean? But I got a lot of people, I don't know, man. I don't look at me doing this for myself. When I get frustrated or whatever with the business, everyone gets frustrated.
Sure.
I just think of other people.
Yeah.
Not myself. It's whatever with me. I don't know if you notice, I don't love myself too much, but enough. But I think about my mother, my mama's boy. I think about my father.
Yeah.
I think about all my friends. So anytime I get all crazy and want to get out of this thing, I think of everyone else. Same thing with Akiyama. I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't want to wrestle no more. But he gave me confidence, and he was like, I believe that. What did he say? He said, I believe you'll be champion here. And I was like, oh, shit, I guess I got to stay. You know what I mean?
And when you hit the wall, though, were you how was your health? I mean, were you like, just fucked up?
Just, mentally fucked up, I guess you could say. I talk about mental health a lot because to me, it's a real thing.
Sure, of course.
I mean, I'm on Zoloft, so I don't, you know what I mean? I chill out.
Yeah.
But it's a real thing, and I've seen it. I've seen it in my family.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen it with a couple of friends I've lost from suicide.
Oh,
you know
really?
what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's just mentally, you know what I mean? It's a struggle, but physically, I feel better than I ever have because now I can afford ice baths and
oh yeah,
you know what I mean, and saunas. Before I couldn't.
Ice bath really work?
Yeah, it
what
works
does it
for
do?
me. Just brings down the swelling on your body.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So I'll
Sure.
hop in the ice bath, or after tonight, you may see me with ice on my shoulders and my neck.
Yeah.
Nothing's wrong. It's just to bring down the swelling.
Yeah.
Because after 21 years of, getting beat up, it hurts after a while.
I bet, yeah.
Like, was there a turning point or something that clicked in that made you go public with things about mental health and awareness?
Yeah, it was being part of AEW and then seeing the reach that this company has.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, if I'm going to talk about it, might as well talk about it now when people will listen.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You know what I mean? And I don't care if people take it and believe in mental health or whatever.
Yeah.
I really don't care. The people I care about are the people that get it,
Yeah.
that are going through it.
And you probably hear back from people, right?
Yeah, and it's a little weird. It's a little weird because
Like,
I don't.
You saved my life.
I don't. That's not me. I don't do things for that.
No, I know, but
I just do it because it's the right thing to do. You
Yeah,
know what
I
mean?
get the same reaction with the podcast. Like, I didn't get into it for that. But when someone writes you an email and says, I probably would have killed myself if it weren't for you.
Oh, yeah. That gets me.
Yeah. I know.
That gets me every time because I don't know. My mother says this to me all the time. She goes, "You like to give." She goes, "You like to give out love,
Yeah.
but you never like to take it in." She goes, "That's the Irish in you."
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
Irish and Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
So my father's side always gets the bad rep when I do something wrong.
And they're both still around?
Yep, they're both around. Yeah, man, they're
Do they
happy.
Come? They come to matches?
Yeah, they come when we're in New York. Yeah, my
that's
father just sits there in amazement.
Yeah, oh, really?
Yeah, because he was always there for me, my dad, but he was tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He always wanted me to get out at some point and get
Right.
a regular job
Sure.
and all that, but he was always there.
Yeah.
Always there, to do things for me. So,
He must be impressed.
yeah, man, he says he's proud of me, and I look at him and go, oh, okay, cool. What the what?
I did it.
Yeah, I guess so. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like you're getting better at taking the love since you have a huge fan base now?
No, I don't. I don't. There's been nights where I'll be in the hotel room
Yeah.
after like a match, and everyone's loving it. That's why I got rid of Twitter.
Yeah.
Because I don't even want to hear the praise.
Yeah.
I'm because to me this is not a big deal. I'm doing what I wanted to do since I was 9.
What's the reaction to praise? What does it make you feel?
I just don't feel good. Like if I feel uncomfortable.
Oh, right.
Because to me it's like I said, I'm doing something I wanted to do since I was 9.
Right.
I'm not doing anything special. I'm just living my dream.
Yeah.
But if you want to take this journey with me, cool. But
Yeah, sometimes praise is hard to believe.
yes, it is very hard to believe, especially when you know some of the dumb shit you've done in the past. You're like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
So I just don't like it because I don't do things for praise.
Yeah.
I do it because I either A, want to do it, or
Right.
B, it's the right
But
thing.
it's nice to be appreciated.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. When my mom does, or people
Yeah.
close to me.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
the
yeah.
people close to me are
Yeah,
appreciative,
yeah.
that's what it means a
Oh,
lot.
good. All right. Well, it's great talking to you, man.
All right, I guess we're done.
Yeah.
It's kicking me out already. There it is.
You guys got busy stuff to do. We're just sluts sitting on
fight.
a couch.
I fight, dog. It ain't nothing busy.
My
really.
first live wrestling show.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, you're gonna have a blast.
I'm
You're gonna have a
excited.
blast. Get ready for that Young Bucks match, man.
Okay.
Watch those crazy guys go.
Great talking to you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. If you want to hear more of my podcast, subscribe to WTF with Marc Maron. It's free wherever you get your podcasts, or go to WTFpod.com.